Now, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has a hectic week ahead. He will have 40 hours for 23 engagements. Japan will be hosting all the high-stake meetings. The Indian Prime Minister will be attending the Quad Summit on Tuesday, that is 24th of May. And separate bilateral meetings are also scheduled with the group leaders. That is US President Joe Biden, Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, and the incoming Australian Prime Minister-elect Anthony Albanese.
On Monday morning, arrangements are in place to have these people sworn in as members of my team. To enable Penny and I to attend the important Quad Leaders meeting in Tokyo with President Biden, Prime Minister Kishida and Prime Minister Modi.
India's Foreign Secretary Vinay Quatra held a press conference. He gave details about the aim of this crucial visit. During the Quad Summit, leaders will review the progress of Quad initiatives. They will identify new areas of cooperation.
Partners who share a world view and have a common vision for the future, coming together to take on key challenges of our age. From COVID to climate to emerging technologies, it embodies an approach I spoke of at the UN earlier this week. When we met 6 months ago, we made concrete commitments to advance.
And for more on this, joining us from the ground is WION's managing editor Palki Sharma Upadhyay. Welcome to the broadcast. Now, my first question to you is, like most high-stakes meetings right now, the Ukraine war is expected to dominate the talks between Quad leaders. But do you think that this puts India in a tricky situation? Because New Delhi has decided to choose dialogue over sanctions, unlike the rest of the three Quad nations.
Right, it is going to be a bit of a challenge for New Delhi to navigate this one. But remember, Ananya, the Quad has seen leadership transitions in Japan, in the US, with Joe Biden taking over after 2017 when the Quad was resurrected, and then now the new Australian Prime Minister expected to take over and attend this summit. So Quad has seen that and overcome those disruptions, if I may. The Quad has also seen internal differences vis-a-vis the Russia-Ukraine war. Remember, this is the first in-person meeting after the war broke out, but the Quad leaders did have a virtual meeting in the month of March, and this grouping has sort of got an institutionalized identity now in the last 2 years, when they've had 4 meetings. First in March 2021, which was virtual, then the Washington DC meeting in September last year, then the March 2022 virtual meeting, and now this one in the month of May in Tokyo. So there's a lot going for this grouping, and I'm sure they'll find a way to overcome this difference, which is a clear difference, because yesterday there was a meeting in Bangkok of trade ministers of various countries, and the US and the Japanese representatives were among those who staged a walkout the moment the Russian trade minister started speaking. So these nations led by the US have made it a point to call out Russia on every platform, and I do not think that the Quad will be an exception. So the challenge for India will be to state its point clearly and firmly, at the same time work towards the common goals that the Quad has set for itself.
Right. Now, China is going to be another issue expected on the cards as hostility towards Taiwan continues to grow. How do you think that the Quad plans to address this?
To my mind, this is a bigger challenge than the Russia-Ukraine war, because remember, the Quad has been in existence for 17 years now, and many have accused it of having an identity crisis. Is it the Asian Red Cross? Is it the Asian NATO, or something in between? And the Quad has done a lot in the past couple of years, or 5 years if I have to work on various challenges, from vaccination to climate change and everything in between. But they've not done very much to further their security goals. And the war in Ukraine is a clear reminder that a similar situation may arise in Asia thanks to Chinese aggression. And that's something something that the Quad leaders will have to address immediately and on priority, and they've not been ready to even name China as a threat. So that puts a question mark on how much they're prepared to do vis-a-vis the Chinese threat. From what I gather from the local press, Ananya, the Quad is set to launch a maritime satellite-based tracking system. And this is to check illegal fishing in China. So that's a first step. China is seen as the largest perpetrator of illegal fishing, and that threatens the livelihood, the traditional livelihood of many countries in this region. So this would be a good start, but there's a lot that needs to be done to counter the Chinese threat. Yesterday, the Japanese government also launched a formal protest against China for some construction activity in the East China Sea. So they have made a lot of noises, but the Quad has not really come forward and spelled it out in so many words that China remains a security threat to the region and something needs to be done to counter it.
Right, thank you for your insights. That was WION's managing editor Palki Sharma Upadhyay reporting from Tokyo.